Denver Nuggets just made a move that was supposed to solve one of their biggest problems, but instead it's turning into a surprising and possibly risky dilemma. In their effort to give Nikola Jokic much-needed rest during games, the Nuggets traded for veteran center Jonas Valančiūnas from the Sacramento Kings, sending Dario Šarić in return. On paper, this looked like the perfect fit. Valančiūnas is a proven big man who can anchor a second unit, rebound, and hold his own defensively. But almost immediately after the trade was finalized, reports began surfacing that Valančiūnas wasn't planning to stick around. Multiple sources, including Basket News and CBS Sports, confirmed that Valančiūnas is seriously considering leaving the NBA to join European powerhouse Panathinaikos. He's reportedly been offered a lucrative net deal worth 12 million euros per season, about $13 million annually, for a 3-year contract. That's more guaranteed money than what he's currently set to earn in Denver, $10.395 million for the 2025-26 season, with a $10 million team option for the following year. The surprising twist is that Valančiūnas has not officially requested a buyout, but insiders say he has made it known to Nuggets management that he would prefer a release so he can return to Europe. That's where the tension begins. According to multiple reports, the Nuggets are not interested in letting him go. They've made it clear that they expect him to honor his contract and report to training camp. For a team that just made major roster adjustments to support their franchise superstar, that's a line they're not willing to cross. The situation has fans and analysts split. On one hand, it's understandable why Valančiūnas might want to leave. He's 33 years old, has played over a decade in the NBA, and this could be his last chance at a big payday in Europe while playing for a contender in his home continent. On the other hand, the Nuggets gave up a rotation player and are short on backup center options. Letting Valančiūnas walk without a replacement would leave Jokic with an even heavier burden next season. Denver's need for a quality backup center has been well documented. In the 2024-25 season, the Nuggets struggled whenever Jokic left the floor. Their bench often failed to hold leads or generate enough offense, and opposing teams took advantage of the minutes when the MVP was resting. That's why the front office felt pressured to act this offseason. After missing out on several other center targets, Valančiūnas seemed like a smart addition, affordable, reliable, and experienced. But now, Denver is in a difficult position. They can force Valančiūnas to stay under contract, but at what cost? A player who doesn't want to be there can affect team morale and locker room chemistry. Sources around the league have described the situation as playing with fire, especially for a team trying to bounce back from 2 straight second-round playoff exits. It's also worth noting that the Nuggets aren't operating with a ton of flexibility. They're deep into the luxury tax and have already committed large salaries to key players like Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, and now Cam Johnson, who was just acquired from Brooklyn. They don't have the cap room to pursue another quality backup center on the free agent market. That's why the front office appears committed to keeping Valančiūnas on the roster, even if it means dealing with some early friction. Behind the scenes, Nikola Jokić is watching all of this unfold. He's always been known as a low-drama superstar, but he made headlines after last season when he publicly stated that the Nuggets cannot win a championship with this team unless they improve their depth. That statement wasn't just about scoring more points off the bench. It was about having trustworthy players who can hold the line when he's not on the floor. Jonas Valančiūnas was supposed to be that guy. Now it's unclear how this will all play out. The Nuggets could wait and hope Valančiūnas changes his mind. They could try to negotiate a middle ground that allows him to play out the season before making a move. Or they could eventually decide that it's not worth the tension and look for another solution entirely. But in the meantime, one thing is clear: Denver is taking a calculated gamble. Whether it pays off or not could define their season, and possibly Jokic's future with the team. As the situation with Jonas Valančiūnas continues to unfold, the Denver Nuggets are walking a fine line between strategy and chaos. The front office has made its position clear: they're not backing down. Despite Valančiūnas' serious offer from Panathinaikos in Greece, worth more than what he'd earned staying in Denver, the team is unwilling to part ways. It's a bold stance, but the reason behind it becomes clearer when you look at Denver's bigger picture. The Nuggets are trying to stay in title contention while dealing with serious financial and rotational limitations. Their recent playoff exit at the hands of the Oklahoma City Thunder in the Western Conference semifinals exposed a critical weakness. The team lacks enough reliable depth when Nikola Jokić isn't on the floor. Valančiūnas was supposed to be the insurance policy for those crucial non-Jokić minutes. Head coach David Adelman, recently promoted after the firing of Michael Malone with 2 games left of last season, is tasked with rebalancing the rotation. He was reportedly one of the key advocates for bringing Valančiūnas in, seeing the veteran as someone who could anchor second units, control the glass, and provide scoring from the post. Losing Valančiūnas now would put the coaching staff back at square one, with very few available replacements this deep into the offseason. But forcing a player to stay when he wants to leave creates a dangerous atmosphere. Several league insiders have warned that such a move could fracture locker room unity. Even if Valančiūnas suits up and plays, will he give the team his full commitment? Will other players respect the decision to keep someone who might rather be on another continent? The timing of all this couldn't be worse. Nikola Jokić, fresh off yet another MVP caliber season, has entered the second to last year of his current contract. Although he's remained publicly loyal to Denver, he's been more outspoken in recent months about the team needing to make real changes if they want to win another championship. With the Western Conference only getting tougher between the rising Thunder, revamped Rockets, and unpredictable Lakers, the Nuggets know that standing still isn't an option. That's why the Valančiūnas situation has such high stakes. Denver can't afford to waste another season of Jokic's prime. They already traded away Michael Porter Jr. to clear financial room, bringing in Cam Johnson from Brooklyn. They re-signed Bruce Brown to add back some two-way toughness on the bench. But these moves only go so far if the center rotation isn't stable. If Valančiūnas ultimately refuses to play or underperforms out of discontent, the Nuggets could quickly be forced to pivot. There aren't many experienced big men available, but names like Bismack Biyombo, Dwight Powell, or even a veteran like JaVale McGee might be floated as emergency stopgaps. However, none of them offer the combination of skill, rebounding, and size that Valančiūnas brings. There's also speculation that Denver might explore a mid-season trade if Valančiūnas' situation doesn't resolve cleanly, but again, that brings challenges. The Nuggets are over the luxury tax line and have already used most of their exceptions. Any incoming player would likely require shedding more salary, which could disrupt their already thin bench. Internally, the team is hoping that time will cool tensions. Valančiūnas has not made any public statements, which suggests that negotiations are still ongoing. The Nuggets are likely banking on the idea that once training camp begins and players return to Denver, the atmosphere might shift. A few preseason wins and some good chemistry, and Valančiūnas might be convinced to stay and compete, especially if Denver starts strong. Nikola Jokic's opinion will matter more than anyone else's. As the clear leader of the franchise, if he throws his support behind Valančiūnas and makes a direct appeal to keep him engaged, it could make all the difference. Jokić isn't a vocal recruiter in the traditional sense, but his influence in the locker room is immense. If he welcomes Valančiūnas fully into the fold, the rest of the team will likely follow suit. Still, this entire saga is a reminder that even the most carefully planned offseason moves can backfire. The Nuggets thought they'd solved their biggest issue. Instead, they may have created a new one. How they handle it, whether with force, finesse, or compromise, could define their 2025-26 campaign. In the end, the Nuggets are betting that winning will fix everything. If Valančiūnas contributes, if the chemistry holds, and if Jokić continues to play at an MVP level, Denver could be right back in the mix for another deep playoff run. But if things fall apart early and Valančiūnas becomes a distraction, don't be surprised if the Nuggets start looking at other ways to retool, and quickly, because with Jokić in his prime and the West only getting stronger, Denver knows they can't afford to play with fire for long.